Hi. So, with the second leg of the second semi-final of UEFA Champions League getting over in Munich yesterday night between PSG and Bayern Munich, now we know which are the two fantastic clubs which are going to play for European clubs' ultimate glory, that is the Champions League trophy on 30th of May in Budapest. It would be Arsenal, the only club which has been undefeated this season, against PSG, the defending champions. PSG played the second leg of the second semi-final with a 5-4 advantage from the first leg, which was actually an all-time classic Champions League match in Paris, which they had played. It was a great match, which they ultimately won 5-4. At one time, they were leading 5-2. And in the second leg, people were expecting similar kind of a blockbuster of a match, but it was not to be. It was a different kind of a masterpiece, but it was not a all-time great match. It was a strategically very well balanced match. It was a match with a master plan from PSG and their master tactician Luis Enrique, who came with a defensive strategy that was supposed to frustrate and create havoc in Bayern Munich's plan. And they succeeded in that because they knew playing in front of a partition crowd of 50-60,000 in the Allianz Arena in Munich, and with the kind of quality that Bayern Munich has in terms of Olise, Luis Diaz and Harry Kane, they would not be able to score enough goals to prevent Bayern from winning, because if they allowed Bayern that room and the space, this Bayern attacking line was capable of scoring half a dozen goals also. So their strategy was very clear. They were packing their defense and they made more cautious approach after Hakimi was ruled out because of injury. So they packed their defense, they believed in a man-to-man marking, and they believed in frustrating the forward line of Bayern, so that Bayern would be focusing more to attack, they would be committing more people and commit errors in terms of passing, and then they would grab the ball and PSG then would be trying to punish Bayern with quick counter attacks. In one such counter attack, within 6 minutes, they managed to get what they wanted, that is an early goal, when Dembele scored a magnificent goal to give them a 1-0 lead, and with that a 2-goal advantage overall. And that put Bayern in a real back foot, because they were now scared that any mistake they would do, they would be punished by this PSG forward line, which was vicious and also very fast in Dembele and the hero of the match, that is Kvaratskhelia of Georgia. They had two fantastic footballers who could really punish them with their quick counter attacks, and they had faced it once in the first 6 minutes and they were nervous, they were scared, and then they committed errors. And throughout the match, PSG followed this master plan from Luis Enrique and they succeeded to a large extent. But for Manuel Neuer's brilliant saves, PSG could have actually taken a 3-4 goal lead by the second half also. But Manuel Neuer played a brilliant match, frustrated many attacks by PSG, but in the meantime, PSG was never in doubt, they were never in pressure, because Bayern could never create enough pressure in the PSG citadel, because PSG defense was compact and they were working like a well-oiled machine. And ultimately, in the injury time, Harry Kane managed to create a moment of magic and scored a goal to make it 1-1 to end the match with an honorable draw, but could not prevent PSG from sailing through to the final with that 6-5 aggregate. With that, now PSG is now going to be in a position to really try to defend a Champions League trophy title they won last year. Just imagine, till last year they had never won a single Champions League trophy, and yet last year they won, and now they are in a position to defend that trophy and win it back to back. And if that is supposed to be, any credit has to be given for that, this has to be given to Luis Enrique, because in beforehand they believed in the strategy of buying out superstars, buying out great players like Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, hoping that those players would come and give them the Champions League. But when they failed after spending billions of dollars, then they believed that no, they needed some good strategy and good investment and sound investment, and they invested in Luis Enrique, who comes with a real pedigree of winning Champions League and winning trophies. And he changed the ethos and the value system of the club. He chucked out the plan to buy the superstars of the Galacticos. Rather, he tried to buy good utility players with good talent and skill, and then made them the Galacticos of the club by building a club with coherence, with spirit, and with a sense of belongingness. And that's how he got players like Kvaratskhelia, Marquinhos, and also players like Dembele to perform even beyond their potential and perform consistently with a sense of belongingness for the club. And that's how they won the Champions League last year. And again, they are looking like well capable to defend it. But of course, Arsenal, the club which has been brilliant in Champions League throughout this season, which has been the undefeated club, looks well capable of upsetting the apple cart of PSG and the fairy tale of PSG. They are looking well capable of replicating something which PSG did last year. They are looking well capable of winning their first ever Champions League after reaching there after a gap of 20 years. So who knows, it may be Arsenal's night or it may be PSG's night on 30th May, but we have to wait to find out. Thank you.